Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green. I'm the manager of the Swindon Swoodilypoopers. Remember when Leroy Williamson scored a penalty and then I'd been talking all game so my voice cracked as I sang his song? That was the best. And we beat Manchester United and won the Carling Cup. That was fun. Now we're back in the Barclays Premier League playing West Brom. We're going to try our best to continue our undefeated season and also our improbable march to the top four of the Barclays Premier League. And at this point, I have to tell you, it is not statistically impossible that we could win the league. I mean, it's still statistically unlikely, but it's not impossible. And look who's back, by the way. Other John Green has returned from his 50 days and 50 nights of broken-leggedness to start for the Swindon Swoodilypoopers alongside his husband, his teammate in life and in love, Bald John Green. Sorry, I screwed up that line. Today I'm going to talk to you about 50 Shades of Grey because that's what you people wanted me to talk about, so fine, I will. And I'm going to, we're just going to try to win this game. But look, right now we are coming off of an incredible high. I mean, that was probably the greatest victory, the most poetic victory in the history of the Swindon Swoodilypoopers. Man of the match, Ginger Rampage, who started in the Manchester United Youth League. Leroy Williamson scored the decisive goal. He's always been our talisman and our friend. It's just an amazing, amazing accomplishment, and I couldn't be prouder of the guys. So, 50 Shades of Grey, have I read it? I read parts of it. I read enough of it. I don't think I need to read any more of it to kind of get a sense of what it's about. It's an S&M novel. There are a lot of them on the internet. I'm surprised and they're all free. So I'm surprised that this one has done so well, because there's so many free ones on the internet. It's a little bit, I don't know. It's a little bit surprising to me. Oh, fantastic defensive teamwork there by the boys. What do I yeah, so I mean, it's pretty poorly written. Obviously, I don't even think the defenders of the book would see it as anything other than poorly written. And like, I don't really feel like it's my place to talk about whether it's misogynistic. I do think that, like, my feeling has always been that people that was a penalty. That people in a community should be able to talk about their community in a way that people outside that community don't. And I mean, one of the things that strikes me as weird about 50 Shades of Grey is that it is this S&M novel, but it's very much written from outside that community. And so, I think that's what makes it that's what gives it its mass appeal, is that it's, oh boy, we gave up a goal. It's just, we're not even that bummed out about it, really, because Leroy Williamson scored the decisive penalty in the Carling Cup final 2 days ago, and we won the Carling Cup, and we beat Manchester United. So I'm going to have a tough time. I think all the guys are going to have a tough time concentrating today. Obviously, we have this great undefeated season going in the Barclays Premier League, and we'd like to continue that. But on some level, I mean, come on, come on. We won the Carling Cup. It was freaking amazing. No one, least of all me, thought we were going to win that penalty shootout. It was beautiful. Oh, that was something else. Sorry, I'm supposed to be talking about 50 Shades of Grey, but it's not where my heart is. Not where my heart is, friends. So, I find it to be in a way that I don't find, like, to be fair, I certainly haven't read all three books, and I haven't even read all of the first book. But what I found sort of problematic about it was this whole construction of older man, younger woman, like, he has money, she doesn't. He's powerful, she isn't. And then, like, he, ostensibly cedes her this power by making her submissive, and like that is a common, that I get that theme, that idea of, like, the person who's submissive is the one who's, other John Green almost celebrated his return with a goal, is the one who really has the power and everything. I get that. I mean, this won't, for those of you who haven't read 50 Shades of Grey, I mean, it's basically it's erotica of a very particular type, and it's a type that definitely I can't say that it's, wow, we're 2-0 down. I'm not going to say that it's, he was offside. Do you see how much I care? We won the Carling Cup. So, it is from a, like, gender studies perspective, a worrisome novel. I mean, the author keeps trying to make the point that that this woman is in charge in some ways because she has like certain, I don't know, she has certain powers as the submissive in this relationship. And I get that, but like the actual plot of the story strongly implies that she's not in charge, even though so it's a show versus tell thing. The telling is telling us that she has all the power that she needs, but the showing, at least so far as I can tell, is showing us the exact opposite. That this, better than life dude, Mr. Gray, is like way, he really has the power because he has the money and the cars and the access and all the stuff. He makes everything possible. And I think that's what I find annoying about this sort of, this worldview in general is that it creates this world where men have the stuff, and the way that women get it is by allowing men access to them as objects. Well, that's really problematic to me. Now, having said all of that, in the second half, I'm going to talk not at all about 50 Shades of Grey, but about what everyone is saying about 50 Shades of Grey, which is like, oh my God, can you believe that this terrible book has sold so many copies, and it's such a tragedy, and the death of American books, and whatever. Well, first off, let me just say that terrible books have always sold a lot of copies in America and elsewhere, and that this is nothing new, and it's nothing particularly disastrous. One of the reasons we picked Fahrenheit 451 was because we were distressed to learn that Ray Bradbury, in his entire, 80-year career, sold fewer books than 50 Shades of Grey has sold in the last 3 months. 50 Shades of Grey is selling something like 2.5 million copies a month, and Ray Bradbury sold 8 million copies in his entire life. So, yeah, I mean, and that's too bad. It would be a better world if Fahrenheit 451 sold 10 million copies and 50 Shades of Grey didn't. But the game is not, to me at least, there are always going to be these books that are wildly successful in the moment, whether it's 50 Shades of Grey or Twilight or whatever it is, or Harry Potter. And I quite like Harry Potter, for the record. The game is not like whether you can be that book for 5 minutes or 6 months or 2 years or however long it lasts, because that doesn't really turn out to be that interesting. I mean, I guess you get some money out of it and everything, and money is fun, but it's not nearly as cool as what Ray Bradbury has done, which is that even though he is deceased, his work is still relevant in the lives of millions of people. And it's not just that millions of people have bought his books. It's that millions of people have liked his books enough that you got to put that on netball, John Green. They've liked his books enough that they've responded to them over the course of decades. And also, let me submit that even people who really like 50 Shades of Grey wouldn't cite it as like a book that changed their lives, They wouldn't be like, 50 Shades of Grey, that's the book that switched around everything for me. I think probably some people do feel that it's dramatically improved their marriages. And I think that's okay. And I guess that's to be celebrated. Like, anytime people can find, can find some, whatever people find like comforting or interesting or whatever, that's great. So I don't think there are a lot of people who would say that it changed their worldview very much. And to me, that's the kind of magical thing that books do. And I can't speak for Ray Bradbury or E.L. James, but for me, I would much rather write a book that one person finds, lastingly interesting and important and helps them think about their lives differently than I would write, McGoldrylocks, you've got to finish! Then I would, I'd much rather do that than write a book that sells 1 million copies. Because all selling 1 million copies gets you is money. And like I said, money is great, and I like it, and I'm all in favor of it, and I hope that, that my books sell tens of millions of copies, and that, I get to, I don't know what you get to do with money, but I get to do all that stuff. That would be awesome. But in the end, that's not why I write. If I wanted to make money, I would do something different. Play FIFA all day long. That's very lucrative. But in the end, like what you really want is you want to have that lasting impact on someone's life, and you want to be able to kind of have a seat at the table in people's lives when they're thinking about what's going to matter to them and what's important to them, and what they're going to value and what kind of choices they're going to make as humans. That's a hell of a lot more interesting than like convincing someone to spend 4 hours reading your story. And I think like books at their best do that. And when I think of authors like, the authors who I have those relationships with, whether it's, Toni Morrison or Zora Neale Hurston or Neil Gaiman or David Foster Wallace or whoever it is. I mean, that's not about the $18 I spent on their books. It's about something much deeper and more important. And like, yes, I think only 1 million copies of Infinite Jest have ever sold, but like to the readers of that book, it means so much, and it's such a revelation to so many of its readers that I don't think you can take anything away from that. So like that's the game to me. Oh! Speaking of the game, we just lost it. Come on. What the F was that? Sorry, I don't like to curse, but what the F? Come on, in the 87th minute, that's what you do? We're going all out attacking. I'm disappointed. We're going to lose. We're going to be, our undefeated season is over. However, did I mention that we won the Carling Cup? Because that was fun. Oh, you're going to dribble into the corner like a coward? I'm not going to stand for that. Oh, crap burger. Crap burger. Oh, for the first time this season, we squat in shame on other John Green's return. I blame 50 Shades of Grey. Thanks for watching. Best wishes.